Morning, everyone.
Hi.
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 Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, so welcome everyone to the Fashion, Beauty and Luxury Pitch Night. We really apologize for the delay. With some technical issue, but now it's fixed and we're ready to start. And so I'm very happy to have you all here tonight. And I will give the word to my colleague Jennifer, who will be moderating this event. So Jennifer, you have the word.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mathilde. Thank you, everyone, for waiting as well this morning while we got started. So everyone, thank you for joining. Welcome to the Fashion, Beauty, and Luxury Pitch Night, organized by the Startup Club. And while we wait for everyone to join, you're welcome to write down your contact information and a short bio in our chat. And we highly recommend that you network with each other. This is a great opportunity. My co-host Mathilde is sharing the schedule and the link to the pitch decks of the startups that we'll present today, and we'll talk about in a few minutes. Also, just welcome to everybody. I'll just introduce myself before we get started. I'll be moderating the event today. And like Mathilde said, my name is Jen Mully. I work in finance. I've worked in finance now for over 10 years, different companies. Currently with Fisher Investments, I work as an investment counselor. And I also founded my own company. So we do sustainable fashion here in Camas, Washington, right outside of Portland. And we're also in New York. Our company is Broken Mirror. And I host events here for the Startup Club. So while we're getting started, and everyone, please post your short bio in the chat, and I'll share a little bit more about the Startup Club before we introduce our companies. Okay, so the Startup Club is a one-stop shop for the global entrepreneur community. Our vision is to assist other startups and scale-ups and growing companies in their fundraising and development needs by connecting entrepreneurs with investors, advisors, mentors, and other key players here in the startup ecosystem internationally through a series of pitch nights and investor networking conferences. In 2022, we hosted over 50 successful events and workshops, and we're happy to count over 70,000 members in our online network. We host events on various topics like green tech, health tech, fintech, valuation workshops, and we're planning to expand into other industries going forward past 2023. We offer a lot of additional services like valuation reports, pitch deck reviews, promotion packages, and so on. Our events and services are listed on our website. Please check that out and reach out to us if you'd like to receive additional information. Now, as we get started today, I'm happy to introduce, we do have 5 wonderful companies that are going to be pitching with us. I'll just introduce them briefly and turn the time over to them, and then we'll introduce our board members. So we have 5 companies. The first is Both in Apparel. They're pioneers in the non-binary design presented, or we have presentations from Finnegan Shepherd. They're based out of New York. Our second company today presenting will be Zero. They're a platform for sustainable design and clean beauty. And we have Brigitte Canty. They're an Australian-based company. We have GINIK. They're an Italian luxury fashion tech brand in the smart fashion sector here. And we're going to be presenting, double check here, GINIK. Mathilde, who do we have presenting for GINIK? Ginika. I apologize. Ginika, welcome. She's going to be pitching with us. Then we have Liberare, and they're for all abilities. They're where fashion meets function. We have Emma Butler, and they're a Canadian-based company. And then we have Ness and Me. That'll be the last company pitching. And they're providing wellness, home, and lifestyle products here to support the journey. They're out of London, and we're going to be pitching with Vanessa. So next, I'd like to introduce you all to the format of the event today. We have each startup, we are on a bit of a timeline, especially with the tech delays. So each startup will have 5 minutes to pitch. And going forward, we're going to have 15 minutes allotted to our different advisors to present. We're going to limit to 2 questions or 2 points per mentee or per advisor. And now I'd like to turn the time over to our advisors and members of the advisory board to briefly introduce themselves. We have some wonderful people here today. So we have Claire, Zoe, Carl, Diana, and Rohan. Let me turn it over to Claire if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Claire. I have a background in luxury goods and retail analysis, both as an equity analyst for Morgan Stanley for 2 decades and also working for private equity and luxury companies since 2008. And I'm on the board of Prada.
Wonderful. Zoe, turn the time over to you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. I am currently working in venture capital and corporate innovation at Plug and Play. Plug and Play, we're a global open innovation platform with the goal to connect startups to larger corporations. And I'm managing some of our activities in the brand and retail vertical. So I work with a mix of fashion, retailer, cosmetics, and luxury companies. And before that, my background has been mostly in innovation and digital transformation in fashion and luxury. So excited to hear about all of your projects today.
Thank you for joining us. And Carl, we'll turn it over to you for your introduction.
Thank you for having me. My name is Karl. I'm an investor at GHARAGE Ventures. GHARAGE Ventures being a CVC for Gebrüder Heinemann, one of the largest duty-free retail companies. I do have experience building luxury brands with an accelerator, as well as usually doing more technical investments as well. Super excited to be here and really happy to see your presentations.
Thank you. Diana?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm Diana Boxheimer. I'm 30 years old and from Germany. I'm a vice president at Good Brands, a venture capitalist from Mannheim, also in Germany. And we invest in D2C startups, and our main focus is on companies in the nutritional supplement sector, as well in skincare, cosmetics, and everything around beauty and wellness. And I'm looking forward to the pitches today and the evening.
Okay, well, beautiful. Well, thank you everyone for the introductions. And now we'll turn it over to our startups that are going to be presenting. And now we'll turn it over to our second presenters. We have Zero, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Brigitte. Go ahead, share your screen, and good luck on your pitch.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. And then my co-founder, Ellie, will actually be starting it off for us.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Okay, so growing up, my love for fashion stemmed from working with my aunt, who's a prominent celebrity stylist here in Los Angeles. She has clients from Kim Kardashian to Eva Longoria, Pamela Anderson, all of the pretty big names. And so I immersed myself in the industry very early on, working in fashion, e-commerce, PR, styling, marketing, you name it, I've probably done it. And so in college, I started working at Tom Ford, but I was immediately exposed to the harsh realities of the fashion industry. And with very little research, I discovered that the fashion industry is one of the most polluting industries. Simultaneously, I was in college in LA, and I was surrounded by my consumption-obsessed friends, to say the least, who were ordering multiple packages a day from various online stores. And so in that moment, I realized that my friends had a gravitation towards the convenience of online shopping. And I felt very compelled to create something better, something that was centered around sustainability. So I became obsessed with sustainable fashion. I started compiling a list of sustainable brands as I came across them, which resulted in around 500 brands that I would often refer back to for my personal consumption habits. And so this list inspired me to start Zero. I got accepted into the entrepreneurship program at USC and began turning this idea of Zero into a reality. But I immediately reached out to my good friend Brigitte, knowing as a founder where I lacked, and that was my environmental science expertise. So I can turn it off to Brigitte to tell you a little bit more about her background.
Perfect. So as teed up, my entire experience has been in the sustainability world. I studied business and environmental science at the University of Southern California, and then all my professional experience has been across the space. I worked at National Geographic, I've worked at a few environmental law firms, and then when Ellie reached out to me, I was doing research for the Global Institute of Sustainability, and my focus there was on coding large company sustainability reports. So these were the Apples and Microsofts of the world, and I would go in, pull for commonalities, and then also identify the language and the metrics that they were using to greenwash. So when Ellie shared the idea of zero with me, I was instantly on board, since as a consumer, I felt that this was exactly what I had been looking for, but also in my professional work, I'd seen that there was a massive issue with greenwashing in the industry. So after doing an exhausting amount of market research and competitive landscaping, we found what we really deemed the gap in the market and where sustainable fashion was set to emerge. And so we came up with the idea for Zero. So Zero is a marketplace for extensively vetted fashion and clean beauty. There's been a massive shift arising in both fashion and beauty industries as consumers and brands are beginning the permanent shift towards sustainable, clean products. So since Ellie and I, we're US based, the numbers we'll be pulling from are US based. And so currently the women's apparel market is a $180 billion opportunity, and sustainable apparel is growing 6.3% faster than the overall apparel industry. Simultaneously with clean beauty, the market sits currently at just above 5.8 billion, and it's forecasted to grow to 37.6 billion within 5 years. So that is implying an annual growth rate of 45%. So the market and the consumer appetite is huge, and it's only continuing to grow. So across all other industries, this shift towards sustainability has already occurred. And ultimately, what we're seeing is that fashion is super behind, and the industry is lagging due to the greenwashing that I mentioned, but also there's really inadequate regulation in the US. So as we've seen across all other industries, automotive, beauty, food, the sustainability wave has already come through to the US, and so fashion is really next in line for change. And currently, there's 16 pieces of fashion legislation under discussion in the EU alone, with the first coming into force in 2024. So we're really confident that Zero is well ahead of this curve for regulation, and we're poised now to cater to the new wave of conscious consumers. And so when Ellie and I initially started working together, I adopted and expanded on the framework from my research job at the Global Institute of Sustainability and used it to extensively screen Ellie's list of brands that she mentioned. So those brands she had found from doing keyword searches like sustainable dress, sustainable top, and just whatever popped up, she would add to our list. And so after going through these brands and vetting them against our standards, only 30 out of the 500 brands met our sustainability standards, which really highlights the gravity of the issue, but also shows from a brand perspective, there's this massive issue where they can't reach their consumer because every search result is clogged by the larger brands who are doing a single collaboration and then marketing it as sustainable. So there's a need for a platform that aggregates all these brands together and helps them reach their consumer. And so since then, Ellie and I have been working on our own trademark vetting process that views sustainability through a holistic lens.
And last year, we quickly launched a beta platform. We had the 30 brands from our list eager to join. One of our advisors is the VP of Consumer Insights at Levi's. She helped us lead consumer testing, where we were able to iterate with our consumers, get real-time feedback from them, understand exactly who our target customers are, what their pain points are, and what they'd want to see in a marketplace such as Zero. And so since we're in the pre-launch phase, we wanted to test the viability of Zero. And it was perfect timing as Soho House reached out to us, and they wanted to throw an exclusive sustainability panel, which opened up into a larger pop-up. And throughout this event, we were able to test the demand for our product. The event was a huge success. We sold out of our product and exceeded the capacity of guests at Soho House with a line down the street. And so this notoriety helped us garner press from Vogue Business, Hypebae, and Who What Wear.
So Ellie and I are hyper-focused on leveraging that momentum to create a cohesive community around Zero. People who engage with our brand beyond just an Instagram like, but truly feel like they're actually engaged in the business that we're building alongside us. So we'll do this by creating both an online and offline community. for our loyalists to all interact. And then in year 2, what we're looking to do is take these loyalists and convert them to paid members who will get access to exclusive drops, percentages off, and also an ability to shop resale products without having resale cut into our GMV. And so to help turn Zero into a reality, we have recruited some of the top talent in the fashion industry, from the CMO of Ziori, who is formerly CMO of Levi's, the head of merchandising at North Face, and the global head of DTC at Levi's. So with this team, we meet weekly, speak daily, and they're really helping us create the future of what Zero is going to look like. Ellie and I are entirely confident that with the trajectory of the market, there will be one platform that emerges victorious, and we really think that Zero will be that platform. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both for sharing. Great pitch. And now we'll hear from our board members for questions, and we'll switch it up a bit this time. Let's start with Diana.
Yeah, thanks for your pitch. It's very interesting, but I guess I haven't quite understood where you get the sustainable data from. So is it from the brands directly? Because that's not a safeguard against greenwashing, I guess, is it?
So when we onboard a brand, what we do is we have multiple meetings with them, and we require full supply chain transparency. Then we're able to pull all the data from the brand, and then we use that against our vetting requirements, which works on a weighted scale to see if we judge a brand as sustainable. And so a lot of the issue that Ellie and I have seen is that the word sustainable fashion gets thrown around, but there's no cohesive definition that exists in the industry today. That's what we're really looking to do with Zero, is create this definition of what sustainable fashion looks like.
Okay, and how much capital do you need, and how you would like to set it up?
So, I was going to say we're raising 750,000 euro. We opened our round on Monday, and we've closed 60,000 euro.
Oh, I think someone's whiteboard is being shared.
What, Mathilde? There we go.
Perfect.
Thank you for answering my questions.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Zoe, we'll hear from you.
Yeah, of course. So thanks for the pitch. I obviously could not agree more with the original problem statement that you're trying to solve. My biggest question is more about differentiation from other marketplaces on sustainable, selling sustainable clothing, or at least more sustainable clothing. I think that your idea is definitely much more relevant today because there are more and more brands that are in some way less impactful to the environment, but have still, but still manage to be more fashionable or create attractive designs. So I definitely think that having such a marketplace today is relevant. But I'm curious, how you differentiate with other players on the market, because there are several, many, and if you guys also any data on your traction, or about be it a revenue or users buying on your platform. I'd be curious to hear about that as well.
Yeah, of course. So I can start off from a platform perspective. So what Ellie and I have found is that the Revolve, Net Sustain, Farfetch of the world, they all have a sustainability element because they know that that's what the consumer is looking for. The only issue is, since those platforms weren't created with the idea of sustainability, as a consumer, I would never think of Farfetch if I'm trying to buy a sustainable product. So that's what we've seen of these larger companies trying to adopt to it. And then from a branding perspective, what Ellie and I have found is that current marketplaces that exist, there's kind of this misconception that sustainable fashion is more farmer's market, granola, everything's linen. What Ellie and I have found is that a majority of the brands that we're working with are actually very innovative luxury feeling. And so we're really just kind of switching the branding around what sustainable fashion looks like and showing that it's actually more of a futuristic, innovative style as opposed to this more earthy floral look that's been communicated. And then in regards to traction, so since we are pre-launch, we don't have traction to date just because our platform has been closed off, but We do have a website that we've used for a ton of beta testing and stuff like that. And we've done a pop-up, as Ellie mentioned, but we are pre-launch.
Okay, thank you.
Carl?
Again, for me as well, I couldn't agree more with the idea. Thank you very much for the pitch. Super, super interesting. I do see a challenge in the community build-up, because this is something that I wanted to understand. Can you maybe go into a little bit more detail on how you would like to set up the membership model and build up the community?
Yeah, so a big focus of ours has been the idea that Gen Z likes to feel very connected emotionally and also aligned with brands that they support now. And so when creating Zero, we found that the platforms that exist today, they don't have a brand identity for themselves that stands alone. They just promote the brands on their website. So I can go back to the Farfetch idea. When you think of Farfetch alone, you don't think of how it would exist in the world, but you know the brands that are going to be on Farfetch and that they stand for luxury fashion. So with Zero, what we're really looking to do is build out a cohesive brand identity for ourselves so that Gen Z consumers feel very connected to what we're creating at Zero. And so initially, that's kind of our first, how we'll attract people with what we're doing is very strong brand identity. But then we're going to work super closely and create a cohesive community by pulling everyone together on a platform. We're going to use a platform called Try Your Best, which basically just aggregates all your community members so that it operates kind of like a group chat around what you're building. And then you can incentivize them to engage with your community through, they post user-generated content, giving them a percentage off, giving them access to events. And so once we've really worked closely with this community and also activated a lot of in-person stuff in Los Angeles with them, that's why we're planning on turning the paid membership model on in year 2. That we already have the loyalists who feel very engaged with our brand, that membership will be able to spread more quickly that way.
Also, going off of what Brigitte just mentioned, we are definitely trying to roll out a new influencer strategy, because we really want to capture the eco warriors of the world who can give our platform credibility, but also the fashion influencer side who can bring a fashion forward community. So there are 2 buckets of people that we definitely want to target within our influencer strategy. And because Brigitte and I are based in LA, we calculated that we have an organic reach of 23 million people, as we have really close relationships to influencers, celebrities, and celebrity stylists. So that will be great, as it will definitely lower our customer acquisition costs.
Super interesting. Thank you.
Thank you all. Okay, and lastly, Claire, we'll hear from you.
So going back to Carl's question about membership, how will the economics of membership work? Like, what will that cost, and how many people are you expecting to sign up?
Yeah, so it will cost around $140. We're currently working out and testing different if it will be billed yearly or if it will be billed monthly. But the cost will come out to around $140. And sorry, could you
yeah, what will people get for that then, the $140?
Yeah, so with the 140, they'll get a percentage off on all purchases. So since our business model, how it operates is we take one of the revenue streams of the fashion take rate. And we found, due to the demand issue that I mentioned earlier, where these brands just can't find the consumers because there's too much clogging with all the search engines and everything, we're able to take a really high fashion take rate in comparison to some other marketplaces. So because of that, we can then leverage that off to give a consistent discount price to paid members. And then on top of that, they'll get invites to events, but then also we're going to have a resale element of our platform. So obviously part of the circularity is making sure that our product doesn't end up in a landfill, and then making sure that it doesn't get sold on Depop, but we're actually making money from the resale. And so there's been a lot of issues with brands trying to bake resale into their own business model, just because it can hurt your GMV. So we're going to have it behind a paywall in membership.
And then going off of the amount of customers that we want to target, we're working closely with the previous CMO of Patagonia. She branched off and started her own sustainable fashion brand with this membership model, and 80% of her customers are members. And then I don't know if Brigitte mentioned this, but we're also going to do exclusive collaborations with our brand. So members will have early access to purchasing our drops for those exclusive collaborations.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That was great. Thank you all. I really appreciate it. Good luck and great pitch. And now we'll turn over to our third company. Today we've got GINIK. Like I mentioned, they're Italian, and we'll turn it over to Ginika. Go ahead, share your screen and share your pitch with us. And good luck.
Thank you. Can you see my screen?
Perfect.
Okay. Hi, my name is Ginika Chukwujama. I am the founder of GINIK. GINIK is an Italian luxury fashion sector. In the we combine traditional bags with technologies. This is our product. We have a lot of prestigious and delicious products in all lines. Actually, GINIK is an Italian, but also registered in Italy, in the United States, and is also a brand granted in Italy and in United States in the fashion sector. After we have, GINIK was created when I was working for Fudula and Dolce & Gabbana. And after we have gotten some kind of experiences from our customers in the fashion line, we were able to come up with prestigious product that is what the market is looking for. Why GINIK is a multi-billion choice for our investors? We have a lot of strategies and products, but now I'm going to introduce you only the first 3 years product that we're going to introduce and the market strategies. This is a bag, which is of course very beautiful and delicious. This is what we can, because it doesn't have anything concerned with technology. Everything is just like what you can have today in the market. Then this is our first product that we have produced. It has a smart drawer for your cosmetics and any small object that you're having, like keys and many other things. You can take it from your work to any occasion. And this is the this is the first project, the first product together with the previous one that we are going to launch in the first year. Then in the second year, thanks to the smart drawer, we are going to introduce our product in the cosmetic line, because the product is mainly for the cosmetics, to carry on with your cosmetics and many other things. So once a client can enter into a cosmetic boutique, can also have our bag, to combine with what the person is also, and also you can get it in the fashion boutique world. Sorry? Then, starting from the second year, we are going to introduce luggages. Our luggages have also the smart drawer, LED light inside, and also a smart system that allows the smart wheels to retract inside when they're not in use. This is for people that are always on the journey. Then from the third year, we are going to introduce our bags with some kind of application. From your phone, all you have to do is just to take a picture of what you are wearing on, and you can transmit it on your bag. Your bag, as you can see over here at the right side, is another kind of system whereby you can change the color of your bag and also transmit a kind of fabric, a different fabric from what the bag is already having. Then from the same third year, we are going to introduce Create My GINIK bag. This is because we know, after we have talked to many customers in the fashion world, we have come to the conclusion that customers some of them cannot afford all our features. So we are giving the opportunity to everyone to add and subtract the features according to the person's budget and lifestyle and how you really want to be GINIK. This is because some people might even say, okay, I don't want any of them. I only want a traditional bag. I want this feature. I want the other one. You can even give us your own feature. We can produce that for you, purposely for you. Then we have a combined $1 trillion potential market size. Why is it $1 trillion potential market size? Because in GINIK, you can find luxury fashion market size, cosmetic market size, and also technology. Like as I said before, what I have introduced, what I've said to now is what we want to introduce in the first 3 years, but we still have a lot of features and ideas to introduce in the next 10 years. Then GINIK is found in Italy, but also registered in the United States. Italy is going to be the production and operation site, while USA is going to be the global commercial site, because we really want to enter into the global market. Then Asia, America, and Europe is going to be our major target market that we're going to deal on. Of course, our revenue model is going to start from B2B, online and offline, B2C, online and offline, third parties, online and offline, and we are going to target men and women between the age of 25 and 62. Who is our competitor? When we come to the fashion brand, we can talk about Fendi and Burberry. Then at the other side, the cosmetic brand, according to the people that we are going to collaborate with in the future, we are going to have Pi, Typology, and Sugar as our competitor. We have to offer that really differentiate us from the world of fashion and cosmetics that we are having today. Just like innovative product, first mover advantage, patented, because all our products are patented, elegance, cost, profitability, combined distribution. We have a very notable financial projections, thanks to the kind of product that we are going to introduce in the next 3 years to 5 years. Who is our team? Last year, I was able to create, not only last year, along the years, but last year also, I created a very potential team here in Italy, Dubai, and also in the United States. These are the people that have managed big companies like Gucci, Prada, and many other ones. Most of them have been managing their own company. They have become constantly, they have become, great, and most of them are in the United States. We have, those people, they have managed billions of dollars in their previous and current companies where they are working. Of course, they are all ready to join us, and we are creating all these things together. In conclusion, what do we have and what we want to offer to the investors? Let's talk about our multi-billion market size, team, concepts, and so many others. Maybe along the way on, I will showcase my videos and many other things that I've created so far. This is what I have. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Wonderful presentation. And now we'll hear from our board members, of course. This time, let's start with Carl.
Thank you very much. Super innovative. To be very honest, I have not seen a similar product so far. This is definitely something I can. I can tell. Can you maybe just give me an overview of where are you standing right now? I didn't quite understand it. Did you already do like almost 25 million in revenue last year? Did I see that correct?
No, let me go back to that. Sorry, if I may go back. Hold on a minute. No, we have not started production yet. This is an early stage company. Last time when I wanted to introduce when I wanted to launch, then I found out that in just 2 months, I was like, okay, let me share what we're going to launch before we get started. And I received so many requests, especially from Dubai, and 70,000 subscription in just 2 months. And I was like, okay, let's hold it on before things will become a kind of going off hand. So that was when I decided to get nice investors, get a lot of money to get started before launching, because I would love to take my time before getting launched than launching and, misleading my way on. So we have never, although before the pandemic, we were about to, because we have gotten some kind of investors, angel investors, but unfortunately they were hit by the pandemic system and many other things. So ever since then, we just got started again looking for new investors. So this is an early stage company.
Understood. In that case, one suggestion or one tip from my side would be to maybe narrow down the market a little bit, because you're actually naming 3 really large markets with like 200, 300 billions in market size. I think it would be valuable also for an investor to understand what exactly are you targeting.
Okay. Let me see if I'll go back there. My major target is getting people, of course. Sorry, I'm just trying to, okay, that is it. Men and women between the age of 25 and 62. I don't want to hit in American market, European market, Asian, which is Dubai, Middle East, China, then some of African countries. I want to target, thanks to the Create My GINIK bag, I want to target all face. But, you know, we're going to have some kind of expensive bags, and at the other side, we are going to have some kind of affordable bags. So we are going to target people that can earn up to $100,000 a year and henceforth.
Understood. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you both. Claire, would you mind sharing?
Thank you very much for the presentation. My first question is, have you made any samples of the bags, and have you had like direct feedback from potential customers?
Oh yes, oh yes. The smart bag. Sorry, I don't have it here, but the smart with the smart drawer is a prototype. Is a physical bag. That was what we wanted to launch, and we have another kind of luggage, and that was what we wanted to launch. So yes, we do have, and I work with some kind of because I am in contact with how would I say that in English, a kind of distribution company. You know, they are here in Italy, in Milan, but they are from China. So they have used our product, and they have done their survey so many times, and all the results are positive. Like as I said before, we have gotten around 70,000 subscriptions of people asking us how they can get our bag.
And then my second question is, so what do you envisage will be the price point for your bags? What sorts of price points?
Okay, the price point is going to, for example, the traditional bag is going to start from $600 henceforth. Okay, then the smart drawer, that means the bags with the smart drawer, is going to start from 1,500 to 2,000, depending, because every product must have some kind of levels, you know. Then the luggages are going to be from $3,000. We have a luggage without some kind of, with few features, because, you know, we have a lot of features, but we have decided not to apply all the features in one product. So the strategy is that every product might have maybe only the smart drawer, the other one might have maybe only the smart wheels that can retract inside. So in that case, the prices are going to be different, but it's going to be from a range of 1,500 to 3,000. I mean, that's the luggages.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you both. Okay, Diana, would you mind sharing next?
Yes, I have to say I love your handbags. So the Grada, not Prada, really caught my eye, and your bag fulfills so many important points that I would wish for my own bags. So actually I have a lot of questions, but I just mentioned the 2 most interesting ones for me. So what are the production costs? And the second question, how long does the production take time? Because I guess if I'm right, you want to produce it on your own, right?
Oh yes, yes and no. Yes and no. Let me tell you this story. When I wanted to launch my product last time, I wanted to I wanted to like start producing it on my own, okay? And I found it difficult that producing on my own is going to have a lot of cost. It's going to cost us more and more. So I decided to employ some kind of partners in the production line. Then we found out that we have to get a kind of mold, you know, for the production, because without the mold, one product we take a lot of time, especially the smart drawer. We take a lot of time for the production, and it will have a high cost. So why having this is one of the reasons why I didn't launch my product in the. So we decided. Hello. Hello.
I can hear you.
Okay. So we decided to go for the mold. Then once we can, the mold has its own cost, okay? But once we can have the mold, with one mold, we can produce about 1,000 bags, or sorry, 1,000 smart drawers a day. And the cost will come down from $300 to $50 for only one smart drawer. So in conclusion, one bag, let me just use one bag as an example, will cost us not more than $100. While we are going to sell it to 1,500.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. And lastly, we'll hear from Zoe.
Hi, thank you for the pitch and the presentation. So I think it's interesting that you take on the challenge of kind of personalization and practicality in fashion. I think it's tricky as well to marry these two, because how much you can marry practicality with kind of fashionable and luxury design. That's my personal first opinion. So that's why I'm curious to understand as well how you came up with the idea, and if you have done any like I know this question was kind of asked before, but if you have done any research, or if it come as well from this certain demand that you've seen as well around you. Very curious as well how you came up with this idea.
Okay, thank you for this question. This is something that sometimes I feel somehow touched to narrate my story. I came from Nigeria, and when I was in Nigeria, I was studying university where I was studying mathematics and statistics. Then for me to sponsor myself, I used to buy Italian things from Italy that I used to sell at school, so I was using it to sponsor myself. Then later on, I wanted to study, because I wanted to study petroleum engineering. But later on, my uncle invited me here in Italy. That was in 2008. Then when I came, that was when the global economic crisis, so we started having some kind of issues. I wasn't able to go to school because I wanted to study here. When I came to Italy, I decided to study mathematics and statistics. So later on, I became a kind of homeless for 2 years. Then I found myself again when I started working for Fugla, and then I started working for Dolce & Gabbana. But before then, I was working in a place whereby I was earning only $10 a day. And I saved a lot of money from it, and I started buying Italian things, bags, and some other things that I was sending to Nigeria and to United States. Then people were buying. Then that was when I started, okay, let me build up something of my own. I wanted to, I created the first bag. I wasn't able to make sales because I got no money, I got no name. I was in difficulties. Then I said, okay, then I was working for Fulu. I said, okay, I have to create something different that no other one has. And that's the only way I can make that name. And I couldn't get any idea. I was like, damn it, what am I going to do? Then one day I was traveling from Milan to my city in Bologna. I noticed one lady who was sleeping. And when she woke up, that was the first train. The train was about to take off, and the lady was about to drop. She was looking for her cosmetics inside her bag. She couldn't find it. And later on, she went down without making up. She was very, very nervous. And I said, okay, this is a good thing. Why can't all these big companies introduce this into the market? Because this is something I have been seeing all over my life. Then after 6 months, the same thing happened again. I wasn't having any money to go for it. And I started making my research. After making my research, the only thing, I didn't have money to realize the first prototype. So I have to sell my car. The only thing that I was having, I sold it and I realized this. And when I was realizing it, I was making huge research, and I'm so proud to say that till now, I have gotten a lot of ideas through my research. This is how I started.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great job. Good luck. And next, we'll hear from our next company that's going to be presenting. We have Liberare and their lingerie for all abilities, where fashion meets function. So Emma, if you wouldn't mind sharing your screen, tell us more about your company.
Thank you so much. Let me know if can you guys all see my screen?
Yeah.
Great. All right. So my story with Liberare really starts about 15 years ago. My mom began to live with chronic pain in her hands, and all of a sudden it became really difficult to do things like put on her bra. Those little hooks on the back of her bra, twisting or putting on over her head was a nightmare, and she had to rely on her husband and her daughters to help her get dressed. But my mom's not alone. In fact, there are 600 million women worldwide who struggle to get dressed every single morning because of aging, arthritis, chronic pain, rotator cuff, disability, post-surgery. Almost every woman at some point in her life will struggle to get dressed. And when we do struggle to get dressed, the only options are incredibly dehumanizing. There's only low cotton support bras on the market that don't hold above a C cup. They're typically have some sort of Velcro on them. They are low support, they're itchy, they're on a really medical website. And of course, if you don't opt for one of these low support, hard to put on bras, you could also have your partner or your children dress you, but you lose privacy, you lose independence, and you lose dignity. So I spent the last few years creating the easiest bra to put on. And so I know I'm tiny. Let's see if you can see me, but this is our Easy On Hero product. It's got these magnetic snaps that come together right up front. Yeah, it's really, really strong. And we have other features like grip loops. So, and I'll show you in a moment how these are used when putting it on. But so if you have the inability to move your fingers, you can still put on this bra. Anybody knows that with above a D cup breast, having a full support bra that's wireless up to a G cup is a technical feat within itself, let alone a front closure bra. And it also has a back closure that makes it adjustable for the perfect fit. You can see here a few different women. This is Emma, also named Emma, who's never been able to put on a bra in her life, and she doesn't have the ability to pinch, and she can still put on our products. Or Anastasia, who has an upper limb difference, and she can still put on our product for the first time ever because of her upper limb difference. Other women like Lolly, who has rheumatoid arthritis, where she can put on a bra, but it's really painful and it takes a long time. She's able to do it so quickly. But also we found that bigger busted women, it's just easier and simpler to put on the bra. But more than just creating a bra, and I'll get into our traction in a moment, we've created a movement. In a historically dehumanizing and medical space, Liberare offers a fresh take on women being able to reclaim our independence, our self-worth, and feeling confident and authentically ourselves. We've been honored to be featured in Vogue, Forbes, Cosmopolitan, Glamour, Housekeeping, all these other great places. So let's dive into how we got here. In 2021, we actually came to this pitch event and we were pre-product, pre-revenue, we'd have nothing. And we raised $1 million in pre-seed for product development and to be able to, again, we had no bras, we had nothing. And we launched with our MVP in 2022. focusing on young disabled women. So our focus was really on, women with spinal cord injuries, limb different women, women in wheelchairs. We made 150K in direct to consumer sales with no paid spend. We launched with Aerie and also with Atom. But soon we learned that actually our customers were mostly not these young disabled women. In fact, 70% of our customers were over the age of 55 living with aging and chronic pain. Our niche product that we had developed for this really specific group actually had a much broader and bigger appeal. And so we spent the next few months in research and development to recraft our MVP to really fit this broader demographic. And we launched just this last September. We had 1,000 units and we sold out at 60K in sales. I'll get into the unit economics in a moment of our profitable contribution margin on first purchase, our lower CAC, lower COGS, and we sold out. In the meantime, Victoria's Secret, QVC, and Nordstrom reached out to us to launch with them. These are US stats. But what's really interesting is that despite not marketing to these 55 plus consumers, we were not using any paid spend, as I mentioned, so Instagram and through word of mouth, these women who are over the age of 55, mostly living with arthritis, general aging pain, rotator cuff, and frozen shoulder, found our product and loved it. And as we begin to expand into this more lucrative market, baby boomers in America control 51% of spending in a growing intimates market, yet they're not being served. So let's dive into a little bit of the unit economics. Before we sold out of this initial run, we were growing 17% week on week. We sell this bra for $64 and we make it for $12.28. We have a really low product return rate of about 15%, where the industry average for intimates is about 44%. So this is the first bra that many women can get on by themselves. Our CAC was about $39 with an AOV of 81. And as you might notice, that's more than the 64. Women on average were buying 1.2 of the same product in black, which is interesting, in the same size. And I'll get into that in a moment. But now we're launching omnichannel. So we have our date for our Victoria's Secret launch the first week in May. QVC also just got our on-air date, and launching with Nordstrom's as well. A little bit about the team. I was honored to be named Forbes 30 Under 30 this year. And my background really starts at a high growth B2B startup that was just acquired by Datadog, going through Y Combinator. And our team is very product focused. So our team is the best in the industry, not only the best factory relationships, which allow us to have net 45 terms with a 3-week lead time, but also some of, Jolene, for example, is the best intimates technician in the country for double D cups and above, has worked with Spanx and Athleta, but also have other key advisors like Sandra Campos, who's the former CEO of DVF, and is wonderful and is a great advisor, helping with understanding as we begin to move into Nordstrom and QVC and Victoria's Secret. So what's next? We're getting ready for this retail expansion, but we're also getting ready to expand our product line. This is our hero product, and it's in one color and one size. We're about to launch our new white, but it's coming in a few weeks. But being able to increase AOV and LTV and really pull those levers are really, really great wins. Introduce new bras and really create an ecosystem around these easy-on products for these women that cannot get dressed. We've got this massive growing TAM that's been overlooked. These women want mobility, dignity, and independence, and they're women in the largest spending power in America. We've cracked the code on a really technical product. This is a first of its kind, easy-on bra that's very technical, and it's loved. I think that the customer return rate really speaks to that. It's the first time these women can get dressed. And with these omnichannel opportunities, as well as the ability to just quickly launch our product pipeline of new bras and colors, unlocks a huge ability to grow in AOV. Solution intimates win big. When we think about folks in the space, that are also solution-based intimates, we think about Spanx and their $1 billion exit to Blackstone, or NYX and their $320 million exit to Essity. Again, we're selling bras, but we're also selling independence, mobility, and the comfort of living without pain to these women. So we're raising $550K. We actually have about 300 signed. We just got a check-in this morning. And so our lead investors from the last round, along with, other angels are following on for a 4.7 pre-money valuation. Our goals are really to hit $1 million in sales by this December, launch with these retailers, and get more products out for a higher AOV and LTV. In our allocation, we're really looking to work on this product development, meet these opportunities, and bring on an ops person, as we have, a lot of these accounts that we need to make sure are running really smoothly as we move from G2C to omnichannel. All right, I think that's it.
Thank you so much, Emma. Great presentation. And we'll kick it over to our board members. I'm actually going to start with, let's go with Zoe first.
Hi, Emma. Congratulations for the pitch, and I really like your project. I know you participated as well in a couple of programs, including the program with ITEM, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I have a couple of questions, including where the product is made. Can you tell us a bit more about that, like the material, where is it made, about the production itself? And the second one is like, how are you going to use the funds from this round?
Yeah, so I'll start with the question about where it's made. Our bras are made in China, which is really, especially as we begin to move into molded cups, they can be made in really 3 places: Morocco, Tunisia, and China. And we are lucky that Atom has been really helpful with bringing in some recommendations for our factory, and we love our bra factory in China. And then we also are, in terms of, what was your second question, Zoe?
The funds. How are you going to use the funds from this round?
So bringing on a ops person is going to be key, but ultimately we'll use the first bit for inventory. We'll be using inventory financing to continue to be really smart about our capital with inventory. But mostly, I think that bringing out those products is going to be really important. So a little bit for product development, it takes a little bit of time just to fit and work with that. But ops, product development, a little bit for inventory, and then being able to continue to grow with marketing. But I didn't really get into this as much, but one of the things that we've been able to work on is really leveraging occupational therapists, physical therapists, and hospitals. And so that's a really great way to keep our CAC down. And so it's something that's been inbound and we haven't really been able to do since our launch in September, because I just really wanted to keep growing and grow quickly. Those relationships take a little bit more time, but it's something that we've been fostering, and I'm really excited to be able to launch with that and continue to have our CAC go even lower when working with assisted living, hospitals, occupational therapists, physical therapists, and hospitals.
Okay, and what's the proportion of sales between D2C and third parties?
Right now, direct to consumer, all of our sales in 2023 were direct to consumer. And then as we begin to launch in with Victoria's Secret, QVC, and Nordstrom in 2024, that will shift, and I'll get those stats and that breakdown to you after we launch with them. QVC is on a drop shipping model, so it will be based on the number of units that come in after on air.
Okay. Are there any other brands that do something similar to what you do?
There are a few brands. Front closure bras are not new. And so what we've seen in recent years is that people are putting zippers on bras, maybe some Velcro. They still don't hold above a C cup. Maybe they have a little bit nicer photography than what my mom had even 3 years ago. But at the end of the day, and there are even some bigger brands that are beginning to step in and think about disability inclusiveness. But at the end of the day, making a bra that's the same solution and tagging on adaptive or something else when it still has Velcro or it still has hooks up the front doesn't solve the issue. That was still on the market when my mom gets ready. That's the same on the market. They've always been on the market. So yeah, there are more players coming into space, and we saw that Skims launched an adaptive bra that had hooks right up the front in 2022. But again, these women can't do hooks, and so doesn't solve the issue.
Okay.
That's a good question.
I have other questions, but I'll let the floor to the other people in the audience. Thank you.
Thank you both. Carl, let's hear from you next. If you're still there with us. I know he was having some technical issues.
Sorry about that. My computer was so excited that I actually missed a part of the presentation. Nevertheless, thank you really much. I think, at least when I wrote down, I wanted to understand more on what sales channels you're going, but I think the corporations that you have already answered my questions with this. So I think this is super interesting. From my perspective, it would be interesting to understand how you model the market or understand the market size. I think especially if you, I don't know whether you've done like a bottom-up approach as well. This would be super interesting to understand.
Absolutely. I have a whole spreadsheet breakdown of condition, and then based on in that condition, how, for some, like arthritis, for example, is a lot of our customers, but there's a range for arthritis, and, ranging it from a scale of 1 to 5 based on severity and just based on numbers from, like the CDC and other places. So I'd be happy to send that over to you, but there are about like 30 conditions on that list, from really like from muscular dystrophy to fibromyalgia to arthritis to rotator cuff to frozen shoulder. And so I'd be happy to send that market breakdown to you, but that's based on global data. And then we also account for overlap in some different disabilities as well.
Oh, amazing. That sounds like very thorough. Thank you very much. That would be super cool. Definitely reach out to you afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you.
Claire?
Yeah, I have two questions. The first is, so are you concerned that Victoria's Secret or one of the other big lingerie brands is going to copy your, design and sort of add that to what they offer?
That's a good question. You know what? We think about our IP in three different ways. So the first is we do have this broad patent pending, and so we'll continue to keep IP as part of our strategy. But like we saw, those other two brands I mentioned, Spanx and NYX, both have patents and pretty strong patents. But in this space, IP only takes you so far. And so what we saw with Spanx and NYX, and what made, almost Victoria's Secret has shapewear, and they also have period underwear. Spanx is not the only seller of shapewear, and NYX is not the only seller of period underwear. And I'm sure at one point we will not be the only seller of these easy on bras. But what we also see as really important is creating a strong brand and the go-to place for these people that really understand, we're nurturing, we understand exactly what these women need, and also creating better product. So something I didn't touch on is we have a community of over 500 women across the age and disability spectrum, and that we send all of our products to before, and so there's a woman with one arm that tests our product, and she's a 38G. This, every type of disability, every different type of size, and it allows us to stay ahead of the competition, create a better product pipeline, and ready to go. So I think with product, brands, and IP, that's our defensible moat.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And then my second question is, so given the fact that you're raising a relatively modest amount, why doesn't your existing investor, I think it's Venrex, why don't they just put in the additional capital you need?
Yeah, they did write a great check, but at this point we were happy to, 300 is really which is what we've raised, which is what we wanted as a minimum. But, as I just thought that this is the really early stages of seeing if there's anyone else on our cap table. I'm looking for operators and investors to come on. I think that that's part of it, but we can, with our current amount that we have raised, we can meet our $1 million in sales. But adding extra operators and then being able to bring on this ops person with that extra 200K will be great. And also I'm always conscious of our cap table and just making sure that we have a diverse cap table in terms of splitting up ownership.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both. And lastly, let's hear from Diana.
Yeah, thank you very much for your pitch. I'm so sorry, but I have to say I don't quite understand the problem, because there are so many bras that you can wrap around or put on like a t-shirt, because of the waistband is stretchy at the back. So can you explain your USP to me again?
Yeah, that's a good point. And you know what? When I first started doing research, I thought the exact same thing. I thought, we'll replace the hook bras, but those bras that go over might be okay. Turns out they're not okay. For, most of the time, like the two most popular places for women to have arthritis is in their shoulders and in their fingers. And when you have frozen shoulder, rotator cuff, most of these conditions are both hand and shoulders. And that's what exactly happened to my mom. I first saw it in her hands because I saw her fumbling with the hook. But ultimately, at the end of the day, she had a really hard time gripping this and pulling it over. And so despite the fact that they're stretchy elastic brands and despite the fact that there's hooks, it's very difficult. And then the other piece of this is most of our customers are above a double D cup, which is the average size in America as well. And when you get above a double D cup and you're trying to put on a bra over your bust, it's difficult. There's limited support. It creates a uniboob, and it's ultimately very unflattering. And so there's many reasons for these women not to do the over-the-top bra, let alone because of how difficult it is. So you're right, there's really only two ways currently to put on your bra. A hook bra, difficult for your hands, or a bra over the head, doesn't look good, still difficult for anyone with shoulder mobility, and also can be difficult to pinch and pull down over a bigger bust.
Okay, thank you for your explanation.
For the translations.
And my second question is, do you see your brand as only just specializing in underwear, or would you also look, maybe take a look at some pants or blouses? Because I guess there is also a big need because of some zippers or the little buttons on blouses.
Yeah, it's such a great point. And that's something that our community has been asking for too. But first, and so that's a great way, like that's something that I've heard many times, especially, but when we think about Spanx and NYX, they, with their $1 billion and $320 million exit, they both built these great bras and intimates. And so while I think that we can continue for the next at least 18 months rolling out our product roadmap, molded cup bra, an underwire bra, a demi cup, a full coverage bra, women own multiple bra cups in different colors. Also introduce matchback underwear for increasing AOV, but that's definitely something that I'm open to a little bit down the road, as it's something that our customers need, but they're also asking for different silhouettes and different shapes based on, which way your breast goes and other things like that.
Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, Emma, for sharing and great presentation. Good luck. What we'll do next is we'll just hear final concluding remarks from everyone on our board that joined. Claire, I'll start with you.
Well, thank you to all the presenters. I think that we've, all had very, very interesting companies present to us tonight. And I wish you all well. I really think there's some great ideas out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire, and thank you for joining us. And let's kick it over to Carl for your final remarks too.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I mean, I can say really, really impressive. I think especially the ideas on how you put the consumer in the middle. I mean, there are very innovative ideas here today. Really looking forward to go into a little bit more detail in the topics. Yeah, thank you very much from my side. Very well done. Looking forward for the next time.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you for joining us. And lastly, Diana. Diana, can you hear me?
Yes, but but I was just the first one to ask the question.
Oh, no. Just your final concluding remarks that you'd like to share.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Thank you very much for all those pictures. And I guess there's some very cool founder, and yeah, I wish them all the best. And I guess, yeah, it was very great.
Thank you. And Zoe, I know you dropped off before. Are you with us at all?
I don't think so. He's
Oh.
in the meeting anymore.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. I just want to thank everyone again for attending the event and for organizing the event. Please follow, if you'd like, follow the Startup Club on LinkedIn so you can be informed about upcoming events that we'll be hosting and conferences. And I just want to again thank all of the presenters today. Great companies and pitches, and for taking the time to come before us. The recording of the event will be available on YouTube here shortly in a couple of days, and we'll be sending the final detailed contact list for everyone for the attendees. And lastly, our next upcoming event is on March 28th for the real estate and prop tech pitch night. And then we have another fashion, beauty, and luxury pitch night on April 17th. So join us, and my colleague Mathilde put together these breakout rooms. So please join join our pitches, and feel free to mingle and meet with the other companies that presented.
Okay, so yes, so I prepared a breakout room, so I'm now opening them. So each presenter will be in one room, and the other participants can go from one room to another, or go back to the main one. And this is really a test, so let's see how it goes. And let's go. Let's do it. And thank you everyone for joining. It was a great event.
Thank you. Everyone have a wonderful day and good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.